Welcome everybody to Jonesy Writes. I'm your host Jonesy. You already knew that anyway. You just seen from the intro there. I brought it back because I missed the jingle so much. Today we're not having Brett Smith's life advice. We're having Brett Smith's birthday video. So big happy birthday to David Brett Smith. Today, got 2 videos this week. Because it's his birthday, I thought I'd do a little special. I was going to put out last week, but I decided no, it's today. We'll do it today and we'll do another video on Wednesday anyway. So we're going to jump straight into it then. I've got my friend Jonesy here with me today, and we decided it'd be a great idea to do a countdown of the top 10 classic Brett Smith moments, whether it be a comment, whether it be something he did, whether it be a reaction to something someone else has done or someone else has said. Trust me, you're going to want to watch this. So here goes. It's me and Jonesy and a few other special guests as well. And we're going to jump straight in with the introduction of number 10, I believe. So yeah, enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side.
Happy birthday, David. I hope you have a good day. Number 10 is the moment when I played Smeagol sounds to you in the City of Dreams.
So number 10 is the Smeagol in Liverpool. So Nathan pretty much said it all in the intro there. But basically, Dave was in the toilet. It was when you came to live with us as well. It was all four of us there.
Yes. Yeah. It was when I was in Liverpool as well.
Yes. It was for a Pokemon tournament basically, and we was all in Liverpool. And Dave had some not nice times with Smeagol, Pokemon called Smeagol that day, and he was annoyed with it and he hated it. And so while he was having, I think he was having a poo in the toilet, so he couldn't still sort of like get up and leave. Nathan thought it was a good idea to put his speakers next to the crack at the bottom of the door and play Smeagol sounds, as you just heard in the intro there that Nathan played, to Dave to wind him up more. And obviously, when you're pooing, you can't really get up and just walk across the room to open the door and smack the speakers away. So Dave was tormented and tortured by Nathan. He had to sit and listen to the Smeagol sounds. So that was quite a good way to start the video off there. It wasn't really a David thing, it was just David's reaction. He was just really annoyed, talking through the door, stupid Smeagol, I hate it, Smeagol. It was quite funny to hear him whinging and moaning. And I was trying so hard not to laugh. I know what Nathan was about to do, but Dave's reaction to it was great. He was just whinging about how much he hates Smeagol whilst having a poo, and he couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, thank you for that, Nathan. That was a good way to start. But number 9 was the time that Dave tried to test the Master Ball theory on it. It can actually catch every single Pokemon by using it on a Doduo. Jonesy. Now, what Pokemon would you use a Master Ball on? Just let me ask. What kind of Pokemon would you use a Master Ball on?
I mean, a legendary.
So, like normally, like your game case legendary, the one that's on the cover, or a Mewtwo or something like that. Yeah. Number 8 then is going to be introduced by this person.
Happy birthday, David. And at number 8, the famous sigh.
So number 8 then, Jonesy, as you just heard from Shane there, is the famous David Brett Smith sigh. Exactly. Number 7 is 3 weeks, and I knew it. Now, we had gone to a Pokemon tournament, and Jonesy wasn't going to be coming, so it was just me and Brett Smith going to this Pokemon tournament on the train. However, Jonesy had come up with the idea that basically he would come to the tournament, but we wouldn't tell Dave. I think there was a sigh involved in this one as well, actually, when he found out. So me and Brett Smith got the train. Jonesy was actually at the train station. We walked past him when we got on the train in the morning. Jonesy was sort of hiding, head down, brand new hoodie. So Brett Smith wouldn't recognise him. It's nothing he'd worn before. And we got on the train, and Jonesy got on the train at the other end and was actually messaging me, telling me he'd got on the train, and he'd see us when we got off. And yeah, take it away. Tell the rest of the story, because it was you that surprised him. So you should have the pleasure.
Well, it was after about 5 minutes, I came and found you two and sat next to you. And Dave was like, "What are you doing here?" And you were playing dumb as well. I was playing that you didn't know I was coming as well, just to further at it. And Dave was like, "Oh, I've come to the tournament with you guys." And he goes, "What?" And there was a bit of back and forth. And then I just went, after about 5 minutes, went, "Oh, John, have you got my ticket?" And you give me my ticket, and he's like, "What? You?" Yeah. How long do you know? For about 3 weeks. and it's led to Dave just screaming out 3 weeks
Yeah,
repeatedly.
on the train, 3 weeks on the train. Oops, hope I don't wake my kids up there. Sorry, children. But yeah, Dave literally just screamed out on the train in outrage. 3 weeks.
I think when we were in the Pokemon tournament, and I was obviously in the final 8. I think
Top
it was.
cut, yeah, the top cut, yeah.
Yeah, and I was doing my battle, and obviously I'm trying to concentrate. All I can hear is just Dave just screaming at me his lungs. 3 weeks. But then we also got to tell the other reaction for Dave with similar situation when we went to Liverpool.
Yeah,
because that was a better one.
Yeah, that was the official I knew it, wasn't it?
Eh?
Was that official I knew it?
That was the
official I knew it. That was the other rage. So we was in Liverpool again. Jonesy wasn't coming, and then obviously because he turned up before at one event when he wasn't meant to be, Dave was like, "No, but he's coming." I was like, "No, he's not. No, he's not." And then I think you got off the train in. We got off in London.
Basically, instead of coming to find you on the train,
yeah,
I sat on my own on the train to London, and then I got off the train, and I was wearing something that you had to take a second check to make sure that is Jonesy. And Dave literally walked straight past me. You have your camera out. You filmed his reaction.
My camera, yeah, I filmed it, but it was on mute, and I was like, didn't get it properly recorded.
And you should told him to turn. Hey Dave, you told him you missed something, and he turns around, and you can literally see the cogs turning in his head.
That was like it was a slow motion moment, wasn't it?
It was.
It was.
And then he realized it was me. He's like, I knew it. In the middle of the train station in London
Victoria, it wasn't overly busy, but there was still hundreds of people on this platform. Getting off the train next to us and getting off this train and getting on the train next to us. Sorry, and he's just in the middle of London going, I knew it. So number 6 then. Is a very funny story that we're just going to gloss over. It does involve Lisa, so we're just going to gloss over it slightly. And number 6 is the time when our friend Mike Brown, decided that he was drunk as well. I want to point out Mike was drunk at this point, but Mike decided that he was going to stop Dave and Lisa from having sex. So
I think for the first time as well.
Potentially, yeah. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. So Dave and Lisa were on a holiday together, and Dave and Lisa were in the sofa bed in the living room. On the first night, Mike got very drunk and decided that he was not going to allow, if he wasn't having sex that night, he wasn't going to allow Dave and Lisa to have sex that night. So he took his mattress off his bed, dragged it into the living room, threw it down next to their bed, and basically told Dave and Nat, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to stop them having sex. And he literally just slept there all night and was like, perhaps I'm not having sex tonight. And Mike decided he was just going to sleep next to Dave and Lisa, so they couldn't have any, naughtiness. Which I don't even think they said anything about having any naughtiness. Mike just assumed they were because he was drunk. He was like, I'm stopping Dave having sex. I'm not having it. There we go. Number 6 was Michael Brand. We love you, Mike. Stopping Dave from having sex, and Dave was just so frustrated and so annoyed. I don't think anything was planned anyway. I think it was just in Mike's head. But it was absolutely fantastic to watch Dave get annoyed. We've got some honourable mentions. Do you want to go first, Jonesy, with your honourable mentions? Anything you can think of that's not on the list?
There was a time when Dave was over at mine, and you both were over to WrestleMania. Dave decided he was going to go and see his girlfriend, and he decided to walk. Bearing in mind, Dave lives.
I know what's coming. Yeah, this should have been on the list.
Dave spent his whole life living in a town, so he doesn't understand how to walk on a country road. But Dave is walking down the road. There's no footpath, and all of a sudden there's a rustling bush. Now, Dave was terrified of this rustling bush, so he could have just carried on walking, but no, he decides to jump out into the road in front of a car. Didn't get hit, luckily, but it turned out it's just a rabbit in the bush.
Yeah, I remember getting messages from him saying about how I think it was his brother there as well. I think Matty came with us. Matty was there as well. Because I remember we walked the dog, didn't we, to go find him?
Yes, possibly.
That was, yeah. I think that was the year Matty came. So I remember him messaging us saying like how like he was lost and he couldn't find his way back, and his freaking rabbit scared him. He wasn't walking back down the same road anymore because of the rabbit. So he then decided to walk a different route, and he got lost. So we had to go and find him in the dark. And then my phone died, so I couldn't ring him. And it was just hilarious. Dave getting scared of a rabbit, then he getting run over, refusing to walk down the road because there is a rabbit on it. Insane, insane. So number 5 then is a story again about Dave's reaction and almost Dave's torture, really. So on my stag do then, there was, I think 8 of us went away for some drinks and some laughs. And Dave was sharing a room with Pete and Nathan, 2 of our friends, who you just seen one in the video a bit earlier. And on this night, Pete got drunk, and well, most of us had a few drinks to be fair, but Pete was drunk, quite drunk, and he went back to the room, fell asleep pretty much straight away in bed. He was sleeping next to Dave, and he was snoring. But Dave couldn't sleep. So Dave was getting annoyed because Pete was snoring, and Dave wasn't drunk, and Pete was. And so Dave decided, I'm going to go and sleep on the other side of the room, on the floor. And he did that until, even though the window was closed, the seagulls in Brighton, lots of seagulls, the seagulls made some noise. So Dave was frustrated because he can't sleep in the bed. So Dave sleeps on the floor. And then the seagulls literally make noises all night long. And Dave doesn't sleep a single wink. I remember Nathan and Pete telling me about the story the next day. And Nathan was telling me how he was actually awake through this. And he could hear Dave complaining about Pete snoring. He could hear Dave complaining about the seagulls. So he just laid awake in his bed, pretending to be asleep, laughing all night long, because Nathan was in the same room with the 3 of them. Nathan was just telling me, and I was in hysterics the next day, that Brett Smith was whinging about Pete snoring, whinging about the seagulls, he got seagulls, he just could not sleep.
I might have misremembered again. I thought Dave didn't like it because Pete was the big spoon.
No, that was just a rumour, because Dave's used to being the small spoon. That's just a rumour. It was a snoring. Yeah. So to move on to number 4, and number 4, we were there again for this one, Jonesy, was, I'm going to let you tell this story as well, just because I'll just start laughing through it, was the time that Dave decided to serenade the whole college.
Oh my God. Right, so this one, we were at college, and obviously somebody was playing some music on their phone.
I think it was on the radio. I think it was on the radio or something.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
And James Blunt's You're Beautiful came on. And everybody's working away. There was a bit of noise. And then all of a sudden it just went silent because everybody had realized that somebody was singing along. It was Dave just singing along to You're Beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. But Dave is in the zone and he is just working away, singing. And he doesn't, takes him a few seconds to clock on. No, that all of a sudden it's just quiet, and he looks up, and it's just everybody staring at him.
Yep.
After he just sung the chorus to "You're Beautiful" by James Blunt.
It was just his reaction afterwards. He was just not only was he singing to everyone and not even realizing he was singing. It was just like, why is it what's going on? It's like, you don't know. You don't know what's happening right now, Dave. It was fantastic. And again, that is just a classic Brett Smith thing. Number 3 is Dave's dad, Andy.
Hello, David. Happy birthday from your daddy. Hope you have a great day, but let's hope you don't go into town today and feel like you've got to fart and end up shitting yourself.
So Andy just telling us there that I think he was walking to town with his dad and I think his brother Liam, I think, when this happened. And yeah, basically Andy's walking to town with his 2 sons, I think it was. And Dave does what most people do, walk to town, oh, got to fart, oh no, never mind, who cares? Oh, I haven't farted, I've actually sharted and there's now poo in my pants. Now I don't know what degree, because I wasn't there, whether he actually was just turtling or whether like he actually like pooed some brown marks or something in his underwear. I don't know. But when I spoke to his dad and his dad told me this, I was absolutely wet myself. I was like, that's going in the video. It's going in the video. So at number 3, thank you very much for this story, Andy, and thank you very much. This will definitely be the one Dave denies out of all of them. If he denies something, he'll definitely deny this. Thank you very much, Andy, for that. And at number 3 was Dave sharting on the way to town. At number 2, and again, we have another guest, not introduced in the video, but just wanted to say hello. So we'll squeeze us in here at number 2 because it's important for them to say hello. They love you very much. And that's your sister and your mum. P.S. I love what your mum says.
Happy birthday, David!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to David. Happy birthday to you.
I know you're going for a hard time, but hopefully you'll be home by the time you see this.
If you're not, we'll just leave you there. We'll have your birthday cake.
Okay, love you.
Love you.
At number 2 was the time the 3 of us were at Alton Towers. Don't remember, it was Joyner with us maybe.
Joiner was with us,
Joyner
yeah.
was with us as well. Bit Joyner was with us, one of our friends. And it was at Alton Towers, and Dave was in front. He was at the front of, I think, the 4 of us, and he wasn't looking where he was going. Was going on, I think,
He was
the water ride.
We were going around to the log flume. Dave
that's
was
it,
probably
yeah.
Dave was probably about 5 meters ahead of us.
He was really excited about the water flume for some reason. He was really pumped up, and he was
Yeah.
like walking ahead.
And he had his he was facing us, so he's walking backwards.
Yeah.
And around the ride, they had quite a large like lake sort of thing, and there's ducks inside in the lake, and one of them was coming in for a landing into the water, and Dave is obviously walking backwards, and as Dave turns around, one has literally coming into a landing right here as Dave turned around, and all of a sudden Dave Dave was like, oh shit,
yeah,
because he was about to get covered by the duck.
It looked as if like the duck was dive bombing his face, and he narrowly just got out of the way and turned around, fucking duck, like. Again, classic Brett Smith, not looking where he's going, walking backwards, trying to be smooth. He's really excited about this. I don't know why he was excited about the log flume. I don't know why. He was really excited about this ride anyway, and about getting wet on the ride and that. And he was deciding, oh, who's going to sit where? Who's going to sit where? He was really excited, and not looking where he's going. And then smash, this duck, and he cracks his face open. And yeah, from then on in, he kept like looking over his shoulder and gone to honourable mentions then again at number 1. Say thank you to everyone who came on today. Judith, Sophie, Andy, and Nathan.
Shane.
And Shane. Shane, the person you don't actually know, I don't think. Yeah, I forgot to mention him. Sorry, Shane. Hi, Shane. Thanks for coming on, Shane. Thanks everyone for coming along and just making part of Brett's video. I know you did it because you love him or care about him, but we just did it to get more laughs. So thanks for taking part. Thanks again, Jonesy, for coming on and doing this. That's kind of payback for him helping me talk about you last year. There you go. And I want to just quickly jump something in honourable mentions before you've got any more things you want to add on. Facebook, he's actually listed as my pet, and I still can't believe he accepted that. I messaged him going, that's an honourable mention, I've got to mention this. So I wasn't going to include this, but I've got to. I once sent Brett a request on Facebook saying, Dave, you know, you're like a brother to me. Please accept my family request. I put on Facebook as part of my family. He goes, oh, that's so sweet. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll accept it. And I actually put him down as I'm his owner and he's my dog. He's my pet. And he was like, oh, you're so stupid. Again, he was raging when he found out. He was like, oh, I can't believe you did that. I thought you was like my brother. So yeah. Any more honourable mentions for you, Jonesy?
Got loads.
My brother scared me in the tent was funny. Brother Bob, when he stuck his head under the separation of the tent and just made Dave wet himself, that was hilarious.
There's the time we lost Dave at Alton Towers twice.
Well, he had a straw and went up into CBB's land.
To be fair, the first one was funny because we were going to go on Oblivion, and Ash was taking the bags over, and there was only 3 seats. Both you and Dave were like, quick, Jonesy, sit down. And I think I actually genuinely thought, no, I don't want to be a dick. You two go.
Yeah.
Me and Ash will go on the next one.
Yeah.
And you sort of like the last few seconds jumped up, but David already locked himself in, so Dave was stuck, and Dave had to go off on his own. And when he came back round, he had a face like thunder, and we did not see him again for about an hour.
Yeah, he was really annoyed with us. He walked off and he wasn't answering his phone. And then he finally got back to us 3 hours later, I think it was, 3 hours later. And it turns out he'd just been in CB with them the whole time. So at number 1 then is the most classic David Brettsmith moment that we could all think of. And it was a combined effort. So thank you everyone who voted, who I messaged and spoke to. The number 1 was the time that me and Jonesy used to live together before we moved in with our respective partners. And we were living together in a flat, and Brettsmith got this stupid idea into his head that we were having a Halloween party, and that obviously being Halloween, it was fancy dress. So me and Jonesy, not wanting to, hurt his feelings and telling him he's being stupid, we thought we'd be caring friends and play along with his made-up thing in his head that we said we were having a Halloween party when we didn't. And what happened, Jonesy, at that particular time when it was a Halloween? We was indoors and Brettsmith turned up.
Well, I'd worked earlier that day. So I'd gone home and I went to sleep. I said I'd messaged you or something saying, when you get home, wake me up because
yeah, you was working in the morning. I remember, yeah, you were working early in the morning.
Yeah, because you were at work and you were meeting Dave after work. You met Dave in full costume. Not you, Dave.
No, because I knew there was a Halloween party. I don't know where you got it from, but yeah.
And then you came back to us. So Dave was obviously walked through town dressed as this character, and you two got back. You sort of disturbed me enough that I woke up.
Oh no, that's what happened. He didn't want to wear the character. He didn't want to wear the costume. So he met me with a costume in a bag. And I don't think he showed me what it was. And then we got in. I told him I was waking you up, and he got changed, I think, in the kitchen or the bathroom. And then, obviously, while he was getting changed in that, you obviously woke up because you heard the commotion.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it. I didn't see it either until before you did.
Yeah. Enough time for you to take some photos.
Oh yes. I started taking photos, and I think I took a photo with him. I think, I'm not sure, but yeah, afterwards. Yeah. So
I come out, and there's Dave dressed as Batman, and he goes, "I'm Batman," and I just responded, "Dave, you're an idiot. There's no Halloween party." And he goes, "What? It's not a fancy dress." No, Dave, it's not a party at all. You've just turned up at my house dressed as Batman.
And there we have it. Number 1 moment. Classic David Brettsmith. Some reason we were talking about Halloween and he just assumed there was a party. Neither one of us ever said anything about having a party. This thought all came up in his head. So we just played along as good friends do. You don't want to correct, and upset. So, well, we do, but we didn't. So yeah, he came up with this idea on his own. And don't worry, I'm going to put the photos up on screen now while we're still talking, because you have to see the amazing images. Because you're thinking, oh well, so what? At least he got dressed up as Batman. I bet he was an amazing Batman. No, he wasn't an amazing Batman. He got this costume from Smithy's.
You look like a deformed rabbit.
One of the ears get flapping. Yeah, and you've seen it now. Yeah, there is Dave as Batman.
And obviously, because it's Halloween and a few months later it's Christmas, we decided to buy Dave a present, a nice piggy bank.
No.
That pig.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, we love you, Dave. Have a good birthday anyway. Happy birthday.
Love you too, Dave.
Have a good day. Get well soon. He's currently poorly
Yes.
at the moment. I won't go into too much details. It's his story. I don't tell people, but he's not well at the moment. So
He's got our stories to tell people.
yeah, we've got other stories to tell people. So we let him tell his own stories. So yeah. So thanks again for coming along, Jonesy. It was good to see you. And Batpig.
I hope you enjoyed that. There's so many other moments that he's, just things that he's done or said or reacted to that I can't even bring up because it's probably not correct to do so. But also there's so many things that me and Jonesy were just talking about after we finished filming the other day, and that was things like the iron, and there was a thing where we went to Alton Towers, as we mentioned, I think briefly. I don't know if it was that time or the other time we went to Alton Towers, been a couple of times, but he was like, "Oh my god, has anyone taken an iron? I need to iron my shirts." Dad, we're going to Alton Towers. We're not going out on the pool. We're going to Alton Towers. We're going to ride roller coasters. And he was just adamant. Well, what if there's no iron? Who's not brought an iron? When we stand in a tent, where exactly are you planning on plugging this iron into? Into the grass? Into a potato? But it was hilarious. And then it was really funny because we took the mickey out of him the whole weekend about the iron. And then a couple of weeks later, he rung Jonesy. And Jonesy was actually buying an iron at the time. And he didn't believe him. He was like, Dave, I'm buying an iron. He goes, oh, funny, funny. And he was actually buying an iron at that particular time. It's hilarious. You couldn't call it. The irony. I made a joke with Jonesy, so I thought I'd make it with you guys. So thank you for joining us again. There's just so many memories that me, Jonesy and Dave have. We've been friends for 16, 17 years now. So I'm glad I get to share some of them with you today. And again, happy birthday to Dave, but also get well soon. I mean, he's got some things going on right now. So if you know Dave and you know what's going on, send him your love, send him your birthday wishes, send him your prayers, and I'll see you all guys on Wednesday again for another short. But big shout out to Brett Smith. There may have been no life advice, but trust me, this video was a winner. Goodbye. I'll see you all soon.